Ms. Hani So.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I have on several occasions shared with this House that in our Marsiling UT GRC's Woodgrove Division, we have a GEL mission, where G pertains to Green Living Initiatives, E is for embracing parenthood, which entails creating opportunities to support parents with young children and helping them to achieve their aspirations, while at the same time promoting multi-generational bonding amongst the young and old. And L is about raising law awareness in our community. For the purpose of today's adjournment motion, I will be focusing my speech on the E, the embracing parenthood component, as the preservation and strengthening of family ties is an important part of our Singapore society. Much effort has been made accordingly throughout the years in this aspect, such as the formation of the National Family Council, now known as the Families for Life, and the introductions of family-oriented resources, including the parenting workshops and symposiums. This endeavour continues today, as 2022 has been dedicated as a year in celebrations of families in Singapore, and the plan of A Singapore Made for Families 2025, in short, MFF 2025, was launched recently as the government's plan for creating a Singapore that values and supports family well-being. In support, the Alliance for Actions to Strengthen Marriages and Family Relations, AFAM, introduced an initiative for Singaporeans to pledge and commit towards strengthening our family bonds. In this pledge, one agrees, amongst others, to make time for each other, show love, care and concern, and support one another through good times and bad. To help families and individuals turn these pledges into reality, I hope to take this opportunity to highlight some of the feedback which my Woodgrove residents and our PAP Women's Wing activists have shared with me, pertaining to the challenges which many Singaporeans are facing as parents with young children, along with some recommendations on possible ways that the government, employers, and the community can play a supportive role in their own capacities, as well as suggestions to jumpstart new initiatives that aim to do so. For the past 2 years, during my engagements through regular house visits and thematic town halls, I've had numerous opportunities to interact with many of my Woodgrove residents who are working parents. Out of the 11 zones of residence network in Woodgrove, we have 3 zones containing HDB BTO flats, which have completed under 10 years. They are the Tree Trail, the Tree Grove at our Woodgrove Zone 3, Champions Court at Zone 4, and the Woodlands Peak at Zone 10. Another 2 BTO projects are currently under construction, these being the Champions Green and the Woodgrove Ascent. Most of the residents who are residing in these BTO flats have infant children. Many of them are small families with both parents holding full-time jobs, including working mummies who are about to return to work after fully utilizing their maternity leaves, and would usually seek my assistance in securing a placement for their child in infant care. While their own circumstances are unique, they all share the same dilemma, in that due to work commitment, they can no longer be always around to care for their little ones. They hope to entrust their child to a safe location with responsible caregivers and hopefully within close proximity to their residence and at affordable rates. Many of them have searched high and low for such a facility, but to no avail, and are desperate for a solution when they come looking for help. Recently, a resident sought for my help to obtain a placement in an infant care center for her 7-month-old daughter. The child's grandmother used to look after her on behalf of the family, but changing circumstances have made this arrangement no longer possible. Both the resident and her husband are also holding jobs that require on-site work, which meant that without support, one of them would need to give up their job to look after their child. In another case, a resident shared with me that his family is facing difficulties in securing a slot in the preschool just below their residence for their 2-year-old son. They had applied last year, but were informed that the infant care centres are full and have a wait list stretching to 2023. In addition, the pandemic has required for them to care for their son and newborn daughter without support from other family members who reside overseas. Although both he and his wife are employed, they have made it work thus far by hiring a helper and relying on his wife's maternity leave. But their time is running out as the helper is returning to her hometown and the agency is still sourcing for a new placement for them, with the whole process likely to take many more months. I sympathize with my residents going through such challenging, tough situations. Based on the two examples I've shared, the main bottleneck seems to be the lack of available slots in preschools childcare, especially for infant care and playgroup sessions, particularly in areas with more young families where demand has grown over the COVID period. In this regard, I'm heartened to learn about the recent government's announcement that an additional 22,000 full-day preschool places will be created over the next 2 years, and of which 2,800 places will be set aside for infant care and 4,400 for playgroup programs. In relation to this government offering more resources in this aspect, I hope to make the following suggestions. Firstly, apart from building more preschool centres in the BTO estates, I suggest AGDA should look into working closely with LTA and URA to identify common travel routes taken by young parents to their potential workplaces and explore the possibility of establishing more of such services to be provided along their commute. Secondly, to address the shortage of infant and childcare facilities for those preschools that are already observing long waiting lists, I suggest that AGDA consider providing more flexibility in the regulations to allow such facilities to increase their capabilities, whether through the extension of premises, for example, for HDB or URA to allow direct allocations of void deck spaces or premises using market value without competition, or allowing anchor preschool operators to enroll more students by relaxing on staff-student ratio without compromising safety and quality, especially for those that are in close proximity to amenities. I hope that AGDA can also consider encouraging the 5 anchor preschool operators to rent more premises near MRT and bus interchanges by appealing for and facilitating subsidized rental rates with governmental support. This is akin to the concept behind the 21,500 square feet space at Wood Square that was donated by the developers of an integrated commercial development with the aim of providing new community space in Woodlands, bringing together 3 non-profit organizations such as the Care Corner Singapore, New Life Community Services and World Vision Singapore, so that they can more effectively partner and help Singaporeans in need who live in the northern part of the country. Currently, these spaces have looked into providing mental health screening and support for youth with mental health issues and operating a strength training gym for the seniors. It would be ideal if such community spaces can also be offered to preschools and non-profit organizations to provide after-school care services to support working parents, especially single parents and those that are on shift works. One exemplary example of anchor preschool operators stepping forward is the PAP Community Foundation's PCF Sparkle Tots. Its cashew centre, which is situated in Helium Mall, spreads over 21,500 square feet, offering high-quality and accessible full-day childcare and infant care services for up to 287 children, ranging from the age of 2 months to 6 years old. Recently, PCF has further announced that another 2,500 preschool spaces will be added by end of next year. We need more anchor preschool operators like PCF to step up, come forward and offer more of such facilities. While it has been a rough 2 years for every Singaporean, the pandemic has shown that we as people are resilient and highly capable of adapting to changing circumstances. The era of safe distancing has encouraged innovations in our daily lifestyles, from rapid delivery of food and necessities to e-learning and remote working. In the context of family life, the shift towards flexible working arrangements may have allowed some to have more time and opportunities to enjoy the company of our families and increase our ability to assist each other during trying times. I'm glad to note that for the past few months, our COVID restrictions have loosened to the point where many of us are able to see friends and extended family members again after a long time. But I also understand that the relaxed policies have also encouraged companies to recall their workers back to office, in some cases, reverting to the pre-pandemic 5 days a week schedule. While it is of course the employer's prerogative as to how they wish to run their businesses, I would like to point out that the reinstatement of mandatory office attendance will likely cause some families to cut back on quality time once again. Time that they have perhaps found as a pleasant surprise amidst the bleaker days of the pandemic. Some parents may once again become more absorbed in their work away from home as their children readapt to their lack of presence. It is also worth considering that some families with dependents have come to rely on the flexibility of being available at home to better care for them, which will cause logistical issues if they were ever recalled back to the office on a permanent basis. The pandemic has shown us that full remote working can be made possible across many industries, and that a hybrid approach has proven to be very popular in the workforce. Not only will families regain precious time to spend with one another, they will in turn become highly motivated and loyal staff members for the companies that welcome it. While I understand that some employees, whether due to personal preference or their particular job scope, may deem it more suitable for themselves to return physically to work, I would also like to highlight the possibility that some workers may actually prove to be more productive at home as compared to being in office. In that regard, there's really no one-size-fits-all solution. In fact, in the recent Straits Times article titled "Making Flexible Arrangement Work," both the pros and cons of flexible work arrangements were highlighted. It would therefore make sense, and I urge for more employers and employees to better understand each other's needs and concerns and explore whether a hybrid work arrangements by adopting the tripartite standard on flexible work arrangements, the FWAs, is viable, with a common view towards achieving a goal-oriented approach in the interest of maximizing productivity. It is one thing to mandate that families should make the effort to create family bonding activities whenever possible, but it can be difficult to research and plan interesting outings after a long week at work. Moreover, with the rising costs due to inflation, affordability has quickly become another main concern. As tiny as Singapore might be in geographical terms, there are many hidden and inexpensive attractions that will make for great outing ideas for families. Just recently, my husband and I brought our 3-year-old daughter to visit the Live Turtle and Tortoise Museum, which is located somewhere within Yishun, and we spent a very enjoyable afternoon there. I believe that the community can play a bigger part in highlighting lesser-known attractions that are situated within their neighborhoods, so that families have more options when it comes to spending precious time together. Woodgrove has already made some progress in this regard by collaborating with community partners such as ActiveSG on several occasions to create grassroots events, most of which focus on physical activities and exercise. One example is Sporting Day, which allows families to bond through weekly sporting activities that promote play. Friday evenings in particular are especially reserved for family time, when parents and their children can each pursue their own interests all within the same venue in our Marsiling UT GRC's divisions. Another example is the school holiday camp, where families occupy a 4-man tent together and participate in camp-related activities throughout their stay. In addition to that, the collaboration with ActiveSG have also created special events such as the pool parties, where parents and their children can roam around the pool filled with animal floats, and terrarium creation workshops in which families learn to make their own forest in a jar. I hope that more funding support can be provided to partners such as ActiveSG to encourage even more collaborations with the community, to form Made for Families interest groups and organize sports surrounding this theme on a weekly basis. Woodgrove is prepared and looks forward to furthering our collaborations with partners such as ActiveSG to develop even more Made for Families event in the future in these aspects. Besides direct collaborations with community partners, we may be able to tap on governmental resources to nudge other organizations to contribute. In Mandarin, please. 基本上，一些本地景点门票的价格通常都会超出一般家庭的预算，但近2年来，许多居民向我反馈，由于有了重新探索新加坡的优待券，他们终于有机会负担得起携带一家老小在国内游玩的开销了。如果能够再提供另一轮类似的优待券，应该会受到许多国人的欢迎。因此，我建议政府和社区再次合作，推出类似重新探索新加坡的优待券，鼓励家庭育有年幼小孩和乐龄人士一同出游，以促进亲子关系。许多国家如中国已为当地人提供免费景点入门票，以鼓励当地旅游，并为当地景点创造活力。这不仅帮助了景点和附近的许多餐饮业，也造就了许多的就业机会。新加坡也可以透过类似的方式促进我们的旅游业和就业机会。从初步开始，除了推出优待券，我希望我们可以提供国人家庭一些机会，在周末时能免费游览一些本地景点，如动物园、博物馆、滨海湾花园等。这将可以鼓励家人一起出去郊游。如果可以的话，在这些景点建立小贩中心，提供价格合理的本地食物。这些计划不仅可以为家庭提供另一种加强联系彼此间的机会，同时也能够促进相关旅游业机构的发展。COVID-19 has made a significant impact on individuals, families, and businesses. It has changed our lifestyles and working habits. With the ease of safety measures and with our country now embarking on forward SG conversations, consulting and planning for the next 50 years and beyond, I believe it is now the right opportunity for all relevant stakeholders to review the existing family-related policies, regulations, and family-friendly work practices moving forward, so as to build more support networks and resilience among Singaporeans, their families, and the business community. Businesses must be prepared to face with future disruptions, prepare their workers to stay employable, and be more pro-family to retain talents in their firms. Both employers and employees need to recognize that workplace productivity can be preserved even outside of the office through the use of technology and smart mobile devices. At the same time, individuals should take the initiative in strengthening familiar bonds to better cope with future life challenges. In other words, just as business must have business continuity plans, BCP, so should families create their emergency preparedness plans, EPP. The government, together with the community, would always stand ready to provide the support needed for one another and create opportunities for fellow Singaporeans to embrace the various milestones in life and to care for our future generations, both in good times and in bad. In Woodgrove, we look forward to continuing our deep partnership with the relevant agencies and community partners to realize the plans as set forth in the MFF 2025 and champion Made for Families in our division. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
MOS Sun Chui Ling.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, I thank Member Ms. Henny So for reaffirming the importance of the institution of the family in Singapore's society and for her suggestions. Strong families are the bedrock of our society. They can be an individual's first pillar of support in good and bad times. Strong families also help to build resilient individuals who can then be able to tackle challenges that come their way. The government is fully committed to strengthening our families throughout their life journey and had designated this year as the year of celebrating SG families. Just yesterday, Deputy Prime Minister Heng launched a Singapore Made for Families Plan 2025, MFF 2025. This is a national plan that affirms our whole of society effort to create a family-friendly Singapore. It encapsulates the aspirations arising from numerous engagements with families, community partners, and faith groups, and builds on the work of the Alliance for Action to strengthen marriages and family relationships, AFAM. I will now respond specifically to the issues Ms. So had highlighted. First, Ms. So spoke about the availability of infant care. Providing access to quality, affordable preschools remains a key priority for the government. We have made preschools more affordable by enhancing preschool subsidies and lowering fee caps at government-supported preschools. Over the last 5 years, we have increased the national supply of preschool places significantly